All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Furman Football Weekly with head coach Clay Hendricks. We are coming off of a very successful homecoming weekend here on Furman's campus, highlighted by the 24-14 win over the Citadel, and looking ahead to this coming Saturday's 2 p.m. kick with Mercer. Joining Clay at the table are defensive end Joshua Stone King and running back Ben Crosdale. As always, Clay will ask you to kick us off with an opening statement.
Thank you, Dan. Certainly great to be with you on this. I think the rain stopped out there, blustery, good late October day. But no, certainly thrilled in the 105th meeting of Furman Citadel. Thrilled to get a win. I can't say enough about the job our staff did just in the preparation. I think if you go back and look and just defensively, I think Citadel rushed for almost 1,000 yards in the last 3 games. I think they had just over 100 before the last drive. So I think that was kind of the key to, I think physicality, which we played. We thought we had to be the most physical team. I thought we were really on both sides of the ball, and just a really solid day. Certainly there's a couple of plays in there, as always, you'd like to have back that we've got to clean up. I think 4 penalties on the day. 2 of them were really costly. One took away a touchdown. One took away great field position on the punt, and then they were able to flip the field on us. But by and large, really solid day. A lot of guys played well. Again, just happy to get a big win. And it just seems to me in the 8 games we played, we just seem to have caught everybody when they're playing their best. I can't say it's been that way every single week, but if you look through that schedule, it just kind of seemed to be catching people playing at the best, which, we got to play our best. And I think proven fact, we take care of the ball, we got a chance to win every week. And I think I looked at our 14 turnovers this year, 11 of them were in 3 games. If I can figure out what 3 games those were. So just got to continue to try to get better, and again, just proud of our group, and certainly a huge challenge this week. And need to have a great week of prep, and but with that, we'll open up to any questions you may have.
Well, I held onto the mic because since Ben is here, I was going to throw him right into the fire right off the bat. You never want your opportunity to come at the expense of a teammate getting injured, but that's the nature of sports. So you got your opportunity in kind of a primetime role on Saturday and really delivered. Just your thoughts on the day that you had and the preparation, because that didn't happen by accident.
Yes, sir. I already knew that we were pretty thin at running back as we went into the game down CJ Nettles. So I knew my role was going to increase a little bit, but I didn't know it was going to be that much. It's obviously very unfortunate seeing Gavin go down on the first drive. But I just knew that I had to step up, and I was very confident with the running backs that we did have, with Jaquan Smith, and I feel like we did a great job stepping up. And game preparation stayed the same. Just try not to overthink it. Just try to go do my job.
So for Coach and for Joshua as well, after the 2 long touchdown passes, they did a great job defensively. After that, did you change anything at that point?
No, not really. I mean, really, that's just 2 really bad decisions. Just do what you've been taught to do. And one of them was a simple. They did a little lull formation, which they've done a lot of, and I thought we were really well prepared for it. Really, that has no effect on that guy that they threw the ball to. So it's just doing your job. And then the other one was we just bid on something we should have never bid on, just based on what they had done leading up to that game. They didn't do certain things, and so just got to continue to do those things. But really didn't. We've been in that situation a lot this year. I think going back to those 8 games I talked about, we've been in about 7.5 fights. It has been a fight all year long. So I think we're kind of ready for that. We haven't always responded like we want to, but we've responded a lot of times this year in a really positive way. We did Saturday, and you just got to continue to get stops and then find a way to put some drives together. We flipped the field, did some great jobs on special teams. We got a 3 and out, gave us a short field, and went down and scored. But Josh probably give you the defensive perspective there.
We made those 2 touchdowns solid because we were trying to get a a goose egg on the scoreboard, but, you know, it didn't affect us, because we knew that we could go back out there, continue to dominate in the run and make them one-dimensional, and we'll fix during the pass and get some pressure on the quarterback so he doesn't have as much time to just throw the ball up. So, yeah, we weren't really worried after those 2 scores.
Coach, you just touched on this now a little bit, but you've been known to say it's okay to punt. And I really thought that was a play of the game. When it was down to the 6 and back over the 3 after the down them. I guess Dylan nearly had us with safety on the first play. And then they have to punt, and then you get a nice return by Taylor to the 40. And I think 2 pass plays later, you're down 4 and scored you like a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, we said all along, and maybe, you know, we've been punting the ball better. You know, and I think their guy averaged over 50 yards a punt for the game. I think we had maybe 2 inside the 10, 1 inside the 20. But no, that was huge. And then, you know, I think a couple of things, we've done a much better job covering. You know, Caleb Eastman's the guy's just kind of come out of nowhere. You know, he's had a couple of tackles for loss on punt returns. It's hard to do. Yeah, I think that gets in people's heads a little bit. But, you know, and I told our team Sunday, we're going over that, you know, for them to have to start that drive. I think punted the 6, and then we had to have the distance. You know, same thing happened to us a couple weeks ago. We get one on the 2 because we don't catch a punt. And we didn't get it out, and we gave them a short field. And so, yeah, I mean, that's really those kinds of games. I think any game we play, that's going to be big. It'll be big this week. You know, not to mention that, you worried about all the fakes and different stuff that they had done. But no, I thought that was a huge part of the game.
Ben, I wanted to ask you, you've, of course, your career, you've had flashes. You've seen enough in the field to, you know, people know who you are serving on special teams, even out of the backfield. Talk about what got you to Furman. You're part of that Texas wave that I like to say. Coach, we didn't recruit much in Texas until Coach Hendricks got here. You're one of several players that made the way to Furman. What got you to Furman?
Well, I was pretty late to the recruiting process. My senior year of high school, I had a solid year, and then I just didn't feel like I was done yet. I was just felt like I was just getting going, and then I was just exploring my options, and I just had some close family ties with some alumni here at Furman, and I like the area. My sister attended Clemson University, so that's how we kind of got to do it. And that's how I kind of just got attached to it and came on a visit, and I liked it. I loved it. I got with one of the past running back coaches here, and yeah, he just showed me around, and I thought it'd be a great fit.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Hunter, you know, with Ben, you know, when you've looked at that group, you thought it was one of your strongest groups really to start the year, and even Kevin Ephart, who we lost in August, you know, it was really kind of, how you gonna get all these guys the ball, you know, and it's been so good on special teams, and you know, he's just that guy. He flashed in my mind. You go back to Ole Miss last year, the way that game went. By the end of the game, he's in there, he gets the ball. He just seems to show up every time, can make people miss, plays with power. So you know, and I think I'd even said to him last week, I knew he was going to play a role, and then I didn't think Gavin, you know, he would go out of there as quickly, but I knew CJ was already down, and then obviously Jay Corn. But no, it's been a part really of what we do. A lot of it behind the scenes, but I'm really happy to see you show up last week.
Josh, obviously, since you're having a really good season, everybody's gonna be blocking you differently, and it becomes more of a challenge as the game goes on. And there's probably some holding that goes on that doesn't get called, but talk about just how you keep level headed in that moment, and also, do you like the challenge of that, you know, as people more prepare for you as the season goes forward?
Yeah, I love the challenge. You know, I like when they have tight end running back on my side to come chip me, and you know, I still get pressure on the quarterback. You know, it's just like the competition in me. You know, but yeah, you know, no matter who you are, they're gonna hold you no matter what. So I mean, you just got to keep level headed and not get a stupid penalty, and just move on to the next play.
Coach, I just want to I was going over some of the individual stats on the team, and how important has Devin Hester Jr. been to this team this year, based on he's averaging 89 yards a game with his kick returns and also receiving?
Yeah, Devin's been really solid. He's kind of maybe one of the few guys in that group that's, I think, been relatively healthy throughout this time, even when we were down all the guys. We've actually tried to take some of the kick return off of him a little bit, just because of where we were depth at that position. So we saw some other guys start moving a little bit more into the kick returns. But no, Devin's been good. Devin got forced into action with all those injuries a year ago as a true freshman. Probably wasn't, like most of them, probably wasn't quite ready for that. But just been certainly a different player this year. I think his best days are still clearly ahead of him.
Question for Coach, but just a little remark for Joshua. David Cobb is my color guy on the radio broadcast. He was an offensive lineman on the '88 national championship team, and David says in his heart an offensive lineman never holds. So, just that's how they think. Clay, the back-to-back losses put you in a situation where every week is a playoff week for you now if you want to make the postseason. So, how do you balance playing with a sense of urgency, but at the same time not letting that urgency take away the discipline you need on both sides of the ball?
Well, I think it's just about trying to continue to play your best. That's all you really can control. Control what you can. And, we've played some really good football throughout this year. I don't, still kind of waiting for that best game. Hopefully it'll come this week. And we'll probably need it. But it's just trying to take focus on doing the things that are going to help you play well, both sides of the ball, be good in special teams. It's everything from how you meet, how you are in the weight room, even this time of year. What are you doing in school? Our guys, I'm familiar with what they have on, and so you just got to manage it all. So I think just focus on the things you have to do, manage it all. When you go out there today and have great practice. Again, our staff will do a great job of giving our guys a chance to go play and execute at a high level. They got to be able to do it. But I just think it's just staying focused, whether things are good or whether things are bad. I thought we handled some adversity. We've had some adversity a couple of weeks, and I thought we handled that pretty well last week. And we had a little success there. Can we handle that? And I think we will. I think we got a pretty mature group, even though we are still kind of young sometimes when I look around how young we still are.
Joshua, your numbers are remarkable. Tackle for loss, quarterback sacks this year. What's the difference between this year and last year?
I think the difference is me standing up. Now I get to see more of the backfield, more of where the tight end is, where the running back is, and then also just already being at the height of the tackle. You wouldn't think it's that much of a difference from your hands in the dirt to getting off and going up to already standing up, because you can see where their hands are immediately to be able to get them off of you. And then also just Coach Vaughn puts a lot more pressure on the edges this year, so no matter where you are in the field, you're primed to make a play. So.
This is for Josh, maybe Coach can chime in as well. Tim Blaylock told us after the game, said he had never faced the option really before. I can't believe that, based on how exactly he went. But a guy like that playing behind you, how does it affect how you go about business? Or, just can you speak to what he's brought to the table this year as a newcomer? He seems to have like an edge as well without being cocky, just confident. And I think it rubs off on the other defenders. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, well, it makes me play faster because I have the confidence in the guys behind me to be able to, fit off of me. If I'm not the one containing, it's probably the safety, so the safety is going to contain it. I can trust that. And just when he has his big hits, it just really gets the defense all juiced up. And when he's playing good, I feel like the whole defense just plays good too.
Coach, what challenges does Mercer present, and is there a team that you guys have already played that they sort of mimic in any way?
No, I think they're clearly the most complete team to play. I don't think it's even close. Look at the offensive, defensively. what they're doing in special teams. You know, really good players. You know, I think when Coach took that job last year, the cover wasn't bare, you know, especially defensively. But to watch what they've done, they've taken a lot. I don't know what the numbers. They have a lot of transfers. I noticed, particularly in the line, both sides of the line of scrimmage. You know, up front. And obviously they've done a good job. A lot of them are playing for them. They've been really good players. At the back a year ago that they took. But I think to turn around and do that with two freshman quarterbacks back to back. I mean, so give them a ton of credit. You know, for the detail and well coached. They play hard. They play with an edge. You know, we got to match that. You know, and I think I'd like to think and watching them. You know, that's kind of how we feel about how we do things. I think a little bit. You know, it's funny. Their schedule's kind of odd. You know, the Cal Davis game that I remember going to bed. I couldn't stay up. I went to bed and woke up the next morning. I don't know what the word it said. It wasn't canceled.
No contest.
Yeah, whatever it said, and I'm like, what? You know, I didn't know why. And then I learned a little bit more about truly what kind of happened. But you know, so that one kind of went away, and then the PC game. You know, they played really poorly, obviously against a good PC team. Had a bye, made a change of quarterback, and I think that's where it started. I think we ended up doing a little bit of that last year too, and then and you just kind of watch them. You know, they got a young guy playing quarterback, and I'm telling you, he doesn't play like a young guy. I mean, he's composed, he's accurate. You can tell he knows where he's going with the ball. They're doing a good job what they're asking him to do. You know, he's not a guy that's going to take off running. That's not who he is. But they've got good players around them. They've been terrific on defense now for a couple of years and get after the passer. You know, it's funny you get these two. There can't be two better pass rushers in the country playing in a game than was playing Saturday. You know. So I just think they're really good, and then you watch them. You know, the Wofford game was a dogfight. They won by a point. I think they were 10 down against East Tennessee in the fourth quarter. Came back and won. And then to me, the thing that really stands out about it, you get to that point. You know, as a coach, you know, when you got a team, maybe you're better than somebody. I mean, when they've had a chance to dominate somebody, they've dominated them. You know, and that's what you want. You know, as a coach, that's what you want to see. And that game last week. You know, and I know probably wasn't great matchup, you know, but at the same time, just to watch him, I even saw the quarterback interviewed after the game, and he said, I don't think I ever got touched. I don't think he did. He played 3 quarters. I mean, he didn't come out of the game and start the fourth quarter, but I don't think he ever got touched, you know, so playing at a high level. But again, I do think we've been a pretty battle-tested group, you know, and we'll certainly, you know, we'll need to be at our best. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be at our best, you know, Saturday. And we're kind of everybody's got some bumps and bruises right now, but just got to have a great week prep. But they again, they're really good in lots of ways.
Yeah, Coach, you were talking about Ray Mankins, their quarterback, playing out of 35, 533, 5 touchdowns against VMI. You also faced Jerron Dickens out of Western Carolina when he was coming off 53 out of 56 against Wofford. Are they different, or your approach defensively to those?
Yeah, you know what, I think it's funny, even Western, in my opinion, you know, if you watch them this year, even their little philosophy, a lot of shorter, you know, not as many intermediate type throws. They're both going to throw it down the field, and we've certainly seen that. Maybe it's max protect because they've done a really good job protecting him as well. One's much more, you know, one that's going to make a lot of plays with his feet. They're both really accurate, you know, and they both really seem to have good command of where they're going with the ball, which is a good combination. But one is much more of a mobile guy. One more of a traditional running back attack. The other one's a little more of a true old spread attack in the run game. But there are really good similarities, you know. But the two quarterbacks are a little different just as far as how they try to attack you.
What you just said might be the best 2 pass rushers in the country. Might be 2 the best freshmen in the country on either side too. Can you speak to how Evan James came back? And I mean, he's not the biggest receiver out there, but he just seems fearless. And to come back from injury with the kind of game he had Saturday, and it seemed like 3 score drives all started with a pass to him.
Yeah.
Like 2 of them defense.
Yeah, you know, Evan been out for a month, so I think it was a month ago Saturday. You know, when he hurt his shoulder, and yeah, he's out there every day. even when he was in a sling for, I don't know, they had him mobilized for, probably not a week, but 4 or 5 days, and just kind of continued working. You know, Evan's a man of a few words. If you ask him, you know, he'll tell you. And then, you know, golly, yeah, he's a talented guy, you know, and, you know, Keith, I think, was in their low 20s, I think. I think Drew did a great job of kind of getting him in there. I know he had maybe 1 catch. So hopefully he's that much better this week. So, you know, we're getting a little healthier there, certainly. But yeah, I mean, golly, you know, particularly a little bit the way we're built right now, you need those guys. And, I used the analogy, you know, it's not having a couple of those guys a little bit like Cyril, not having those 2 quarterbacks they've been playing with. Because those 2 guys were as important to us as the 2 quarterbacks were for them. But now he, other than just said he was sore from playing football. You know, when you have to play football in a month, it's one thing if the shoulder's sore, but you know, all that time you're not getting hit, he won't get into practice, but he came out good. I think he'll be
For
that.
Ben, I know it's been difficult at times to rush the football this year. You got a chance, Jacon Smith got in there, out rushed, Citadel 139 to 133. What was the difference you think in the running game?
I think our O-line played a hell of a game. They were really just making the holes there, the holes were opening up, and we were just really getting north and south, and I think that just gave our offense a lot of confidence, and I started making the pass game click. But yeah, I just think our offensive line played a hell of a game.
I think that's all from the gallery here, Coach. Any final thoughts?
No, just certainly great to be back at home again. You know, you want to be in meaningful games in November. You know, think of the 9 years, we're really eight falls that we played. I think this is the 6th year we're in meaningful games in November, and this is a meaningful game for both teams. You know, a lot on the line for both, and you know, certainly take a great effort by us. And but again, I think we're ready for that. We need a game like this. You know, I don't know where they were. I think 12, 13, somewhere where they're ranked. We need a team like this coming in here. We need a game like this, and a little bit of where we are right now in our season. And we've played some good football. We need to play our best game. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to go do that Saturday. So, but it will be a big test.
Well, and for those who are worried about weather, don't be, because all this mess is getting out of here tomorrow, and it's going to be sunny and 60 degrees, a beautiful mid-fall afternoon for college football here on Furman's campus. So we want to see you in the stadium. If you can't make it, TV broadcast on ESPN Plus at 2 o'clock. And from a radio standpoint, we'll begin on the Fan Upstate with the Pepsi countdown to kickoff at 12:30. That'll take care of this week's Furman Football Weekly with Clay Hendricks. Thanks to Coach, thanks to Joshua Stone King, thanks to Ben Crosdale. And for all of us at Furman, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you. So long, everybody.